I'm Judy Zelina. This is the Millcreek Government Channel. And today on our program, we have a familiar face. I'm sure you recognize Gert Simmons from our programs we've done before. And Gert is with GECAC.
Yes.
And thank you, first off. I know you're busy, but thanks for joining us on our program today.
You know, Judy, we have to take care of our senior citizens because people don't realize they have become a prime group for all kind of schemes, for all kind of anything that they can, and they'll take the money off you. People say, I'm an old lady, they won't do it. Oh, yes, they will. Oh, yes, they will, and everything like that. And it seems to be the crux of the thing is don't be polite and nice. You can get anything.
Toughen up, right, Gert?
You can get anything from a senior citizen when you say yes and listen to them. And you know, these folks that are running scams, and by the way, the scams are everything from send money overseas to when you get a gift. If someone sends you a pack of cards, I don't care what groups it's from, and they say, this is a gift for you, but we would suggest that you send 5, 10, this and that and the other. It's a gift. Do you pay for a gift?
No, but people feel obligated. So we have to drill this into them that it is a gift. It's not an obligation, correct?
And you know, you look at the times now for seniors. We haven't had a cost of living for 2 years, and now we did get one, but it's not really a cost of living. It's an adjustment. Mm-hmm. Now you see it, now you don't.
Exactly.
And that's what it is. It was an adjustment. So they are living, and by the way, our senior citizens pay their bills, take care of things, they're budget conscious and everything like that, and there may be that you don't have that $5 or $10 to give out there. Don't neglect yourself.
They have to remember that. And I'm going to tell you something, Gert. The reason I feel that these scam artists prey on seniors is because they're a generation that come from the thought process of a man's word is a man's word. And they're a trusting group. They believe people for what they tell them.
Yes.
So if someone says they're going to do something for them, they truly believe that they are. Because a contract back then was a handshake.
Yep.
Things certainly have changed.
And they pry on people's emotions. And I don't know whether you're a grandmother.
Oh, yes.
And these kids we really adore, you know. Oh. And I said to my grandson, he was going on a trip, be careful. Give me a password if anything happens to you. Because that's the newest scam that's out. Is that your grandson or granddaughter was in an accident, will you send money?
Oh, really?
Yes, that's one of the biggest scams.
Is this usually through a phone call?
Yes, this is usually through a phone call or what have you and everything like that. You know, talk to your family and have something going so anybody that calls up can not get you so upset until you go and you actually send money. Now, we've even seen where they have been saying that you were owed secret tax money. And people paid someone to make out the special tax form and never got any money from the government, or if by chance they do, they will be called upon later to pay that money back. So be very, very careful. I can't explain to you or beg you enough to be careful about these scams. And they can come in any kind of, you know, just recently I got one from Africa that the Marquis de Boyd had died and left money. That was my maiden name. These people know what's going on, and probably you're entitled to it. If I sent $1,500. So you do have to be careful about these things. And right now, who has the most money at this point in time in our economy? The older person does. They're getting their Social Security and what have you. So they're the ones that they really will be after, and it's kind of a shame.
Well, I just got something in the mail too, Gert, and I kind of laughed at it. It was addressed to somebody, not my name, or current resident.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a tip-off right there when you open it. And what it was is that it was an estate and I could be, you know,
Yes.
a part of this estate,
Yes.
and all I have to do is send money to pay this attorney. And I'm thinking, and then at the very bottom it says, oh, if you've already contracted an attorney, please disregard this, because they're thinking, don't show this to an attorney because the attorney's going to say this is not legit.
Yeah.
Especially current resident. I mean, what, just because I live in this house, I might be property down in Kentucky.
Yeah.
It wasn't even in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So, you know, we have to realize you are the target group.
Mm-hmm.
You are the one and everything like that. And, you know, go to a center or something if you're that. You know, the woman said to me about the one guy that she sent 500. We talked for 45 minutes. And I didn't want to tell her, but he was softening you up and he was getting you in the mood and everything like that. And that's what should be done. And remember, there are laws out there to protect you about phone calls. They're not supposed to call you in the evening and things like that. These guys are real artists at what they do. They know when they call you at supper time, you might be lackadaisical or you might be hungry, and you're liable to fall for those. So please be careful there.
I had a resident that came in too. Another thing, let's remind people, if someone is trying to offer you a service or get you to purchase something or donate to something, and they want you to do it right then and there, what is your debit card number?
Yes.
Then they even asked this person, look on the back and tell me the last 3 numbers.
Yep.
Well, she happened to tell one of her children this, and it was immediately they went and they closed the account. But remind people, you know, if they call, what not to give over the phone, Gert?
Nothing.
That's it.
Really, because they can search out and find out different things just from what you say and everything like that. So really say, you know, and banks don't hardly call consumers and say, we're trying to catch someone and would you help us out and everything. And when you get anything in the mail, there is an emblem on there that tells you this is the official government logo. And you know, sometime one lady told me, I have my magnifying glass, because down at the bottom it will say, this is not, they have to put on there, this is not an official government program. So they should look at that and everything like that, because people, you know, keep your Medicare and Me book out and look at that that logo they have on it. If that logo isn't on there, then it's not easy. And you know, in talking about Medicare, this is the open enrollment, October 7th to December 7th.
Okay, this is an important time for
Yes.
you to assess what you have.
And first of all, Judy, and I know you will agree with me, if you assess just what you said, assess your insurance and everything, and you may be okay. You know, a lady called me up this morning and she said, oh, I'm just so upset about changing. I said, why are you changing? Well, I got all these notifications. You know, I said, that doesn't mean anything. She's within the income bracket that she likes. She has the medications that she likes. She's perfectly happy. There is no reason for her to change. She said, I have 6 packets here from different insurance companies. Chuck them. If you're happy with what you have, chuck them. And, you know, she said, well, you know, Medicare in California, Medicare is a federal program. If you go to California, your Medicare benefits are the same. You know, she's saying, you don't know what's going to happen. No, Medicare is a federal program.
Yes,
you know?
it is.
And God bless my mother. She used to say all the time, because she came and stayed with us, oh, how are you going to take care of me? And I explained Medicare for her. So all the time she used to say at night, God bless Medicare. But really, you know, because she had gone through a period with her mother where they were trying to find help for her. So that's what she said. But that's a federal program. And she said, when I come stay with you, what's going to happen? Because my sister was in at that time New York, and we were in Pennsylvania. I said, it will be the same. And if you work all these quarters, 10 quarters, Medicare Part A, which is the hospital,
Yes.
is absolutely free. Now, we do get into problems with Part B.
Okay.
And people say, it costs too much. I'm not going to get it. Please get it, because later on down the road, you know, you may be, I had a 92-year-old lady, and she said, I don't need it, I'm healthy as I could be. And I said, you've been lucky so far. But the thing about it, she hadn't got it and she retired at 65, the penalty was going to be extremely high for her. And there are programs out there that will help you pay that Part B. And you know what, in Pennsylvania, we're one of the oldest counties around. Erie County is.
Really?
We have a lot of people walking around, they're 100 years old and everything like that. In all probability, they can get help, because if you've been on Social Security that long, your income is quite low.
Yes, it is.
And so you should be able to get help, and it is not charity. One lady said to me, that's charity. And if it is charity, I'm sorry, if you live to be 90 or some years old, you're entitled to it.
That's right. That's right. Because people say that to me too. You know, I don't want charity. And I say to them, like you said, it's not charity, it's a program. This program was set up for you.
Yes.
It truly was set up for you. Now, Medicare, when can, some of our viewers, when can somebody, you were talking about a penalty, when can they apply for Medicare?
They can apply for Medicare 6 months before they're 65. Or, and let's mention that too, people say, I'm going to take early retirement at 62. That's fine, but you won't have any insurance coverage, and that can be very expensive.
So Medicare is not till 65?
Not until 65 years of age, with the exception of those folks that are on disability. And then after 2 years, they are allowed to get on Medicare. And that is a wonderful thing. We really, even though we criticize, we take care of our people pretty well and everything like that.
Okay, now Gert, I've heard people question me and they ask me, well, if I have Medicare, why do I need to get other insurance? Why do I get
Because Medicare does, you know, a woman came in the other day and she said, oh, as I understand, this operation is going to cost $80,000. You have to realize Medicare reaches how much they're going to pay for it. You know, like you thought it was going to be $50,000, and they say, look, we're only going to pay you, which doctors are complaining about 70, and they pay 80% of that, then you have to take care of that 20%.
Which can be very
expensive.
costly, yes.
People will say to me, oh, I'm not going to worry about 20%. Oh, yes, you should worry about 20%.
Anybody who has had any major health problems, I don't care what the age, you look at 20% of what was paid. Whoa.
So you know why, when people say to me, I don't think I need, and just like that 90-some-year-old woman said, I don't think I need Part D, which is her prescription plan. She says, I don't take anything. You never know what will happen. But we have little perks there. Now, Pennsylvania is one of 5 states that has the PACE program. So I said to her, get on the PACE program. She said, I won't be using it. Well, with the PACE program, until you use it, you don't have to pay anything. So have it there. In case anything happens, she will have that. You
know, Gert, we really are fortunate here in Pennsylvania.
We are.
I have an aunt that moved to Pennsylvania from Ohio. She's eligible for PACE. I mean, she moved here to Pennsylvania. She's now a resident. She was eligible for PACE. And then you've got the rebate, the property tax rent rebate.
Right.
She is amazed at what we have to offer our seniors here in Pennsylvania. The LIFT program.
Yes.
They have nothing like that. If she had to go and get groceries, they would have to call a taxi to take them to the grocery store, and then have the store call the taxi or have them come back in an hour. They had nothing like a LIFT program. And same thing, they depended on people to get them to doctor's appointments. The prescriptions were sky high.
And inquire about these programs. Inquire about them.
Exactly.
And people don't want to, and it is not charity. At that stage in your life, it is not charity. The more healthy people that we have out there able to do for themselves, you know the cost of nursing homes and what have you.
Yes.
And if they can, be the captain of your ship as long as you can, and take advantage of these programs, which they really should.
I had a woman that came in, it was just the other day, and they were on PACE-Net. And because I was looking at different things in their income, I said, you'd be eligible for PACE-Net. She says, we are on PACE-Net. She says, and actually my husband wouldn't let me apply for it, so I applied for it behind his back. And now he is so grateful because he's had so many health problems.
Right.
But you're right, they look at it and they think it's charity. It's not, it's a program. It is a program set, put in place for you.
And people don't realize, and that does alleviate some of the problems that we're having nationally.
Exactly.
And they should be, and you know, just like people should be very careful of their medication and everything like that. And I think our pharmacist gets kind of sick of me because check off, no, I'm going to ask you questions and everything, because whether you realize it, Judy, the biggest admission to the hospital is taking of drugs.
Really?
And it's not because people deliberately did it, but because you forget. You know, did I take that this morning? Well, I'll take it again. Don't do that. And that's, you know, people are put into the hospital because of that. So as you get older, you're going to have to be very careful. You know.
And they even have those little things that you could put Monday, Tuesday.
Yes, and use them.
I use them.
Yeah. Yes.
I do. I use them because I'm so busy in the morning, I can't remember if I took them or not.
And my husband gets upset. I say, this is Tuesday. Well, no.
Thank goodness he has you, Gert.
Because
Gert, what's coming this year in Medicare?
Medicare has, at this point in time, they have some good preventative services and everything. And many times you have to ask for those preventative services. They have, like, for bone mass, and they also have, and you have to ask, and get your flu shots. Oh, please tell people to get your flu shots and everything. And go to a place where they say they completely process it for you. Because people are getting done at different locations. They hand you the bill, you send it into Medicare, and it may take quite a while for that.
Okay.
So that's what I would ask them to do.
That's what I did. They did my paperwork for me.
Yeah.
Made me happy.
So the preventative services are the bone mass, the breast cancer, and also the diabetes. And we're having a high spike in diabetes. So people should go in for the diabetes screening and everything like that. And then as you go on, this is in, and I hope it stays in, as you go into Medicare, you can get a one-time physical examination. Really, a completely physical examination. Because whether people realize it or not, you aren't allowed a physical examination on Medicare. People always go, oh, you have to really be treated for a particular treatment. You're not giving that complete physical. So now as you go on Medicare, find out what the condition of your health is.
And that's so important.
Yes.
These preventative, I'm so pleased to hear that they have all these preventative.
And I hope, you know, that they stay here, because this will keep away so much expense and things like that. Just like prostate, there's cancer. There are predictions that if it was caught in time, we wouldn't have over 60% of what we have in prostate cancer.
See, and there it is. That's just early screening.
Yes. That's what does it.
That's physical.
Right.
Physical early screening. That's what catches it.
And now
same
there's
with breast cancer.
Yes. Yes. But right now I want people to remember, from October 7th to December, and you can remember that because I went to do a presentation. The guy said, that's Pearl Harbor Day.
Well, there you go.
So
we're going to remember that date.
And so please start getting it done quite early and everything like that, so at the last minute you won't. And remember too, this year, I just want to say before we close, that if you do have a salesman come out to sell you insurance, according to law, he can only speak about what he said for, and that means he can talk to you about an advantage plan or a supplemental plan. He cannot sell you insurance, life insurance. He cannot speak to you about cancer insurance or anything like that. Just that is what he's supposed to speak to you about.
You meaning if I call an insurance agent because I want to talk to them about an advantage plan?
Right.
And they know that that's what I want to talk about. They can only talk about that. They can't try and sell me something else.
Nope, they cannot.
And also be careful too. I had somebody call me. Gert said, it was in the other room, and they says, I have a salesman here. He's in the other room, and he's telling me I have to buy this policy right now because this price is only good till midnight, and I have to sign right now. What should I do? I says, you don't sign anything.
That's illegal too.
But they're doing that. And you and I both, well, oh yeah, they're not going to do it because it's illegal.
Yeah.
They do things that are illegal. They do pressure people.
And so they should know what's going on and everything like that. And if it's only to midnight, then you don't want it, because there's a lot out there that will take it and very much look into what you want specifically and everything like that. But that's the new law that's out. They cannot come, and all those big gifts that people used to get, they can't get those anymore either, because that was prohibited.
Okay. Gert, before we wrap it up here, I want you to just remind our viewers, with this period of changing insurance, what should they look at to decide what's the criteria to change or to stay with what you're with right now?
If you're happy with what you have right now, and the medication formula, they call them, has the medications that you need, then you certainly should stay with that one. It is not change. It's enrollment. It's not saying that you have to change, and you shouldn't change. Check if you have an employee plans. There's still employee plans around.
Okay.
And remember, you are not allowed to have 2 Advantage plans or anything. You only have 1. Remember, that came in years ago and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So, and be careful about somebody, I'll cancel that out for you. Because that comes into a lot of trouble, that you find out, well, they didn't cancel me out, or I wasn't canceled out in time. And with senior citizens, you can't be without insurance.
No, they need that
for
coverage.
1 month.
Right.
So you have to look at that.
So really, if they decide to change, Gert, they can make the change because they assess it. They say, geez, you know, I feel that I'd be better with this plan. So when they sign up with that plan, it would take effect January 1st.
Right.
But they have to call their insurance company and say, I want it canceled as of January 1st.
Well,
or how does that work?
All the insurances now that they're in will start again in January. So, you know, like one lady said, I got this letter and it asked me, did I want to stay in the plan? I'm just going to do, if they said, please let us know, let them know.
Okay.
That you're going to stay in the plan and everything. You know, that just sends shivers down my spine that you would be left without any coverage, and that's what we're worried about.
So just cover your bases, let your insurance company know you're going to be staying with them.
Yes.
And do the research and...
Please, you know. And Medicare and You for 2012 is out, you know, and some night when you have nothing to do, sit by the firelight and read it, because every year Medicare changes.
It does change.
Yes, and people don't realize that. They say, but last year, that was last year.
Right. I know, I read the book because I do refer to it quite a bit.
Yes.
And you gave me some copies because I don't get one yet.
Yes.
Soon. Real soon I'll be getting it. Sooner than we know. Gert, thank you so much. You always have so much valuable information.
And you know, the Apprise program is run out of the Area Agency on Aging where I work, and you can call there anytime and ask for information. And all of our 7 centers have Apprise counselors in there that if they want to know any information, they can call them and ask for information. We're an information source, we don't sell insurance or anything like that.
So Apprise, what is an Apprise counselor?
An Apprise counselor it goes through intensive training to become aware of what's going on in Medicare. We have regional conferences and everything like that, and they know the questions. For instance, if someone says, like a woman didn't know that Medicare was a federal program, she said, you know, I came here and I'm without Medicare, and the counselor was able to explain to her, no, you have Medicare, but now that you're here, you're going to have to, because you're in this region, get another supplemental or an Advantage plan.
So basically, a counselor pretty much knows once they're talking with the individual, what their needs may be, and can help direct her in the right direction.
Yep.
Great job, Gert. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being on the show. If you have any questions on anything we've talked about, Gert, who should they could they give you a call?
Yeah, they can call and ask for Gert Simmons, and I'm usually there. And now I have voicemail, so I can call them back.
I know she does. And the number?
459-4581, and I am at extension 494.
Okay, Gert, thank you so much again. Viewers, if you have any questions or need a little bit more information, please feel free to give Gert a call. Thank you for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel. Till next time, have a wonderful day.